In 2022, there were election workers across the United States that unfortunately came in contact with substances that could have harmed them or killed them. And as an election administrator, it's my job to identify that and then talk about with staff what we need to do to keep them safe.
It is very important, especially the people that volunteer their time. They're here on their personal time, committing what is truly public service. They're making sure that our elections are fair and done competently, and they're out here volunteering their time for that. Of course, we want to benefit them with safety.
I reached out to the sheriff's office and asked if they could, one, present what it is to administer Narcan. I didn't know what it was, and to be able to describe the symptomology and how quick it can move.
The training consisted of is she pulled all her staff together and had them in one location, and then I went there and provided them with the information and the know-how to use the Narcan so they didn't have to worry about it if it unfortunately ever came to the event that they would need to use it.
He gave the training and then he came with goodies and he presented to all of the satellite offices different amounts of Narcan for our different offices. So now that we have it at the fingertip in the event that we need to administer it, keeping staff safe.
Whenever I give the training on Narcan, I always start off with if anyone's ever used Flonase or a nasal allergy spray, you've already been trained on Narcan. It's just that simple. I mean, of course, there's some additional steps. One of the things to increase efficacy is to get the disbursement as far up the nose as you can. So this is actually meant to go against the nasal passages, the nose. You don't have to, a lot of people use their fingers here to endorse it. You can do it that way, but it's more effective if you just stick this up your nose and then press the red plunger button.
Sometimes an envelope will be leaking, or it'll be heavier, or it'll appear wet or faded. And those are sometimes, when somebody has entered a naughty substance into an envelope. So our staff needs to be able to identify that as they're working through the mail. During early voting and even some of our election mailers, we deal with tens of thousands of pieces of mail. So to be able to have that training on the forefront until we enter into that election cycle, and then that staff is able to provide OJT to our election cycle temps and our volunteers. It's just, again, another layer of care that we provide to staff.
And the best part about it is as far as whether it's Oxycontin, oxycodone, opium, any of those, it covers all of them. It actually blocks the receptors of your body so that your body can't absorb it. It will not work on central nervous system stimulants like methamphetamine or cocaine, but there's no side effects. So the best thing is for a layman, for an untrained individual, if you feel or you reasonably believe that they are suffering from the effects of an opioid overdose, you can administer it to them. You're covered under the Arizona Good Samaritan law, and there's never been any documented cases of any negative use of Narcan. One thing that I like to get off as a public service announcement is for the employees and the citizens of Pinal County to know that don't stigmatize Narcan for illegal drug use. The one incidence that I utilized Narcan in was there was an elderly gentleman, he had got knee surgery. He woke up in the middle of the night in intense, excruciating pain. He took his medication that the doctor prescribed him. He went to bed. A couple hours later, by our count, by the family's accounts, he woke up thinking it was the next day. He had forgotten that he'd already taken his medication, and he took it. He accidentally overdosed for it. Luckily, the wife was awake and coherent and recognized that he was having some issues. So don't stigmatize it by illegal drug use.
I think anything we can do to give our staff another layer of protection against the naughtiness, whether it's, screening our incoming calls, providing recorded surveillance around our facilities, giving them additional resource training, or even hands-on how to administer Narcan, that's our responsibility. And we take it seriously in Pinal County.